Well, welcome everybody to the Epics of Irindal. This is a brand new campaign. Everybody is starting at level 1. Um, Basically, just to set the bar, everybody, we have some new players, some people who have played before. I do not mind answering questions for anyone at any time. If you're confused about something, um, or if there's a confusion at the table, and whether or not we come to a solution now or later. I try to keep things moving. So if there's not a resolution immediately, I'll just make a decision and say, hey, for now we'll go ahead and roll with this, and then we'll research it later and come to a final conclusion that if it's something that may happen again in the future. So that's always been my go-to. I don't know every single rule. I have to look shit up all the time. So
Cool.
just keep that in mind. But again, I try to know as much as possible, but I can't remember every single rule. D&D is a ever-growing game. So, and again, then there's certain things that my interpretation will vary from rules as written and vice versa. So if there's something I'm like, this doesn't really make a lot of sense, or I feel like this is broken one way or another, I may, again, it's a group game, so I'll bring it to you guys and say, hey, do you want to roll with this, or do you want to, do this a little differently, and I'll let you guys decide. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to read a little bit something for you guys, and then we will jump into the campaign, and I will introduce everyone at the appropriate time, and then we'll get started into the meat of what is going on. Yeah, like I said, everyone's starting at level 1, so that gives everybody a level footing here. But we'll see how things go. D&D is a collaborative game, so it is as much collaborative storytelling and randomness as you quite possibly could ever put into a game. So, which makes it extremely interesting to see what happens sometimes. But anyway, Irindal, bejeweled island continent in the heart of the world, spans nearly 360 miles from mineral-rich coasts of the Serpent Sea and bookended to the east by the grand but arid mesas of Almatur. To the northernmost expanses lie the Vanarut Mountains, often touted as the spine of Irindal, nestled by the Kista Highlands. To the south lie a mixture of regions varying from the soil-rich lands of the Landsgelt Alliance, the peninsula capital of Magnolia, and contrasted by the sickly dense deltas of Rugaru. And the near lifeless and deadly Feedy Dunes. Each region of the diverse land bears history spanning nearly 2 millennia, and some of the scars of past ordeals the likes of which mortals fear to recount, or have simply fallen into the ever-slipping sands of time. In the year 1047 EC, a variety of powers hold sway across the continent. To the southwest is the Holy Empire of Rosewell, and its capital city of Magnolia, divided by the southern half of the great Aelenwald Forest. The Landsgelt Alliance holds dominion, ultimately subject to the Empire, but largely ruled aristocratically by a number of noble houses that encompass the whole of the Alliance. Across the great and desolate Feedy Desert, nestled along the life-giving waters of the Jamila River, rules the aptly named Jamila Dynasty, the oldest unbroken nation in Irindal. Due north along the Jamila River are the highlands and plains of the great orc and goblin tribes, who have remained largely isolated in their lands, trading infrequently when absolutely necessary. They have remained content in their ongoing internal strife centuries now. Into the great towering peaks of the Vanarut lie the dwarven kingdoms, whom eagerly excavate the untold wealth of the mountains, some of which is traded out into the wider world. You know the total extent of the mineral wealth of these vast underground cities, particularly the great dominium of Mont Skega. Last to the northwest lies the devastated remains of a once great civilization known as the Aelin Prima. High elven masters of the arcanic arts, but all but extinct across the landscape of Irindal in the modern day. Scholars argue endlessly who or what was responsible for such a mass destruction and subsequent loss of such arcane knowledge. But to this day, it remains a secret lost to time. One thing is for certain, however. At least a portion of the region is dominated by a loose but dangerous collection of thieves, smugglers, raiders, and criminals of all varieties. But this day our story begins in the smallest of the 4 noble fiefdoms of the Alliance. The Kingdom of Tyrhelm lies pinched between the Prima River and one of its branch segments, the Serpent Secundus River. Although the smallest of the 4 great houses of the Landsgeld, Tyrhelm garners great favor as a wealthy trade city on the route between the Dwarven Dominion, the ruined city of Zindrum, the main body of the Rosewell Empire, and of course the remainder of the Alliance. Duke Eric Tyrberg, ruler of Tyrhelm, is perhaps one of the most respected nobles in the Alliance, as well as the whole of the Empire. By fostering fair trade along the western half of the continent, he has garnered great favor and notoriety. Today, the city celebrates this success as well as the passing of the seasons with its annual and much-loved Autumn Festival. The regional favorite time is a near week-long period of merriment, where trade flourishes in the city from across the realm. Today is the 2nd day of said festival, marked in the waking hours by the Carnival Market, and in the evening by the Aelin Fest, a long-standing tradition of wondrous shows now hosted by the Tyrhelm branch of the Magisterium Arcanum. This continent-wide cabal of great and powerful spellweavers, scholars, and arcane engineers operates independent of the great political powers. In exchange for residence and safe haven to practice their craft freely, the magistrate agrees to offer their services to all sovereign powers without bias. In the southern bridge quarter of the city, lower third of Tyrhelm, where much of the day-to-day commerce takes place, is a series of market squares. Looking north, the city divides to its remaining 2/3, culminating at the cliffside with Tyrberg Palace, and the natural cliff face, further guarded by marble shield walls of the city. I have some additional artwork for you guys. Oh, wrong one. That one. There we go. Oh, it didn't go up, did it? There we go.
Where's the art? Oh.
There you go.
Ooh.
This is the city of Tyrberg. The region we are talking about currently is approximately right there at where you see S6. I lost where I was speaking. At the aquatic divide of the city, hundreds of vessels gather as the Prima and Secundus separate on differing natural trajectories. 2 massive arched bridges across the Secundus allow for medium to smaller river vessels to continue onwards towards Blue Bonnet Lake and the capital Magnolia, while the Prima flows onward through the Aelenwald and exiting beside Mirstadt into the Sea of Aegir. In the early hours of the Carnival Market, adjacent to the Trade Guild and the Southern Docks District, the atmosphere is already abuzz with life. Vendors of all varieties cry out to the passers-by by slinging foodstuffs, jewelry, armaments, and all manner of libations to the masses. The heart of the Carnival Market is the recessed portion of square hugged by many commerce buildings around it. In the very center is the marble fountain, intricately carved to mimic the form of Bahamut, the platinum dragon, his maw spread wide into the air, exhaling a prismatic breath of water, magically enhanced to this special occasion to shimmer excitedly in the light of the climbing sun. Performers of all manner eagerly dance, sing, and recount epic tales of for the crowds of children and adults passing through the market. The smell of foods from the stalls extend like enticing ribbons in all directions, grasping at those around, drawing them in with excitement and promise of delight. As the morning grows midday, musical numbers accompany the smells and excite the ever-growing crowds. It is at this time a turquoise-skinned humanoid figure approaches, garbed in comfortable traveling attire, a small satchel of supplies, and a worn but sturdy staff across his back. Twalker, would you like to describe your character, who you are, who you'll be playing, and what brings them to Tierhelm?
Yes, so, as Topper said, I'm a blue-skinned water Genasi monk. My name is, I pronounce it Dazes, but it's pronounced Dazes. And I have come to Tierhelm, or Tierbert, in search of information about my long-lost love, whom I thought perished in, I guess, call it a ship. Like
Shipwreck?
Yeah, shipwreck. A couple years back. But I've been recently informed that someone who I know has information about her, and so I've come to Tierberg to meet with them and see what information this is. And the person who we'll see who I'm meeting a little bit, but
Okay. Very nice. P, you don't stream, but you plan on streaming here in the near future, probably, correct?
yeah, at some point. I don't know when really.
Let's go, T.
Well, if anyone's in chat and would like to hit !players, you can find everyone's link there. But moving on. While this is going on, a towering figure approaches from the southeast of the square. In addition to their every bit of 8-foot stature, they are garbed in rather unusual attire for this setting, carrying a small pack of supplies and a rather organic-looking staff. Bert, would you like to describe your character, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you'll be playing, and what has brought them to Tierhelm this day?
Okay, my name is Floof. I'm a Goliath Druid. I'm a very tall, big bear of a man, partially due to my race, but also because I actually was abandoned and then raised in the woods by my mother, who was also a bear. I have a lot of woodsy tribal, markings on me, lots of scars from my encounters with various other beasts in the forest. I am here because my mother was killed in the woods, and on her body I noticed some unnatural substances, and which caused her death. I'm really against anything magic or anything unnatural from being raised in the woods. And whoever caused the death of my mother, she left me a little clue. There's a little piece of leather that was in her teeth from when she died. I'm carrying that with me as a reminder of what happened, and hopefully I could find out what it was a part of, and find out who killed my mother, what unnatural things responsible for it, so I could seek revenge against that person and anything unnatural and magic in nature.
Excellent. Lastly, in the eastern shadows of some of the crates and barrels of wine, a somewhat amorphous, smaller figure watches the whole market scene intently. Their leathers, a mixture of patchwork, and their skin tone a bit sickly odd. Quirky, would you like to describe your character, who you'll be playing, describe yourself, and also what has brought them to Tierhelm this day?
Sure. Yeah, so I go by Quirky online, and I will be playing Trash, who is a Plasmoid Artificer. And basically what you will see is a very, very small creature that kind of looks almost like a rat folk, like a rat on its two legs, but also has very humanoid kind of features. It's a really weird kind of amalgamation of what Trash thinks human folk respond well to, but also there is a mistrust of human folk, so she takes on the guise of looking more like a rat. You'll see a lot of kind of like a weird sickly green paleness. You can see through her a little bit, and there's definitely an unfortunate stench that comes from her, and her purpose in this city is she is here to investigate a string of missing persons cases that was brought to her by a close personal friend, and on that friend's guidance, they're here to look into this matter in the best way they know how, in the shadows, observing people, keeping to themselves as best as they can.
Excellent. You guys should find your character tokens on the map. Dazes, you're up at the top center there where you see the indicator. You should be able to move around on the map freely, so go ahead and try that.
Nice.
Floof, you're on the upper left corner of the map. Go ahead and try to move your character around if you'd like.
Okay, I'm looking on it. What do I...
You should be able to drag it and move it. Okay, let me double check and make sure. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry.
I'm having the same issue that.
Okay. It might have been. Okay. Go ahead and try to move it now. Bert.
Okay. I can click on it.
It's not moving. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, it might be because I created them before you guys had finalized things. So,
Okay.
Same. Apologies, bad DM.
No, you're good.
You're good. Oh, no, that looks good. I
There
can
we
move it.
good. Cool. So yeah, obviously you found yours down in the bottom middle-ish. All right. So moving forward, when we're going through, I'll be referring to you guys by your character names. So if you hear that, that's what I'm referring to, just for the ease of clarification. But yeah,
Okay.
you guys can ask me. If you're asking about something, usually I try to keep things. I refer to things as on the table, so like in character or in game. Above the table, if you're asking for like mechanically or like, is this how this works, or how do I go about this? That's a good clarification if you guys are wondering about something. And you need to know, like, in game, I would say like on the table. If it's mechanically something with the game, I would say above the table. Hopefully that makes sense. But anyway, you all hear the festive merriment of the many performers in the center of the square, the shouts and the badgering of various merchants flinging their wares back and forth, people bartering various things ranging from food and wine to more intricate things such as jewelry and weapons and armaments of all kinds spread all across the square. To start with, Dazes, you came this day after receiving a rather sudden missive, having been on the western coast of the continent prior. At this time, I would like you to give me a perception or an insight check, if you will, to see if you can spot whom you're looking for here.
Okay.
First roll of the game.
Exciting.
Hey, good roll, good roll.
Ew.
Ooh.
With an uncanny perception, and even in this busy atmosphere, your well-trained naval eyes spot your longtime friend on the opposite side from you, here on the southern edge of the fountain of Bahamut. A large, half-orcish man, wearing a rather dirtied undershirt and trousers, wearing his typical apron, a bit different than the last time you saw him. He seems to have put on even more muscle than when you last saw him several years back, but you do recognize him immediately. The man you know as Domus. Beside him, you see a young girl, a very childish face, but you still see the ever so slight tusks poking up from her lower jaw, the very porcelain-like skin, almost purplish in color, and with hints of pink. A very cute young girl, a mixture of half-orc and human. But the last time you saw this young girl, she could not have been more than 6 months old. Now she stands before you, probably between 4 and 5. She hugs onto her father's leg, staring up at you as you approach. And I'll show you guys some artwork of the individual I'm talking about, so it's a bit easier, and I'll go ahead and add that to your... you should already have it in your journal, Dazes, but I'll go ahead and add it to everybody else's as well. And I will go ahead and show that to everyone at home. Remember how to... There we go. Hey, there we go.
Ooh.
A very large, burly man, his braided hair falling at either side of his, kind of portraiting his face as he looks over as you approach, Dazes. Ah! It's good to see you, friend. As he reaches out and grasps your forearm in a healthy, firm handshake. How have you been, my friend?
It's great to see you, Domus. Been a while.
That it has.
Yes. I'll be honest, I've had some ups and downs these last couple years, but I'm doing well. I'm doing well now.
Great to hear. Great to hear. Yes, I could understand. We, our last venture together did not go so well, unfortunately.
It was a tragedy.
But it was. But let's go ahead and grab a drink while we are here, and I will explain further why I had the Magisterium contact you on my behalf.
Yes, let us.
He points you over to one of the adjacent stalls. While this is going on, while you all are grabbing a few pints of mead to discuss, his young daughter, Sylvia, as she goes by, is tugging on her father's trousers.
Papa, do you mind if I go play in the market?
Yes, dear, but please stay close. Stay close. It is a busy environment. You see her now you really begin to see the toothy lower grin begin to pop out a bit as she gives a wide smile and runs off a bit despite her father's warnings. But while this is going on, we're going to go ahead and change gears a little bit. Floof, as you enter in from the, I believe, get my bearings here, you come in from the southwestern corner of the market into the... Well, it's northwest as you look at it on this map, but you would have to turn everything about 90 degrees.
Okay.
Sorry about that. That's on me. So yeah, north would be, and I'll go ahead and paint it on here so you guys can freehand. This is north.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, that it's more like north here. So.
Okay.
But yeah, it's kind of cocked. It's just was a pain to turn everything at like a strange angle.
Fair enough.
But as you approach, what would you like to do?
I smell something so unappealing and just terrible that I've just never smelled before in my life. It smells like it's coming from around the fountain.
Okay.
Or maybe just below it. I'm curious what that smell is. I'm gonna check that out.
Okay. Are you just trying to give a general, trying to figure out where it's coming from, or?
Yes. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the source is.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check if you don't mind.
Okay.
So you should be able to roll it on your character sheet. You'll see in your abilities perception. With a 10, it's difficult to say. You can certainly smell something that's a bit off-putting. It's definitely strange, but in this mixture of other smells and other stimuli around the market, the busyness of people's sweat, the smell of grease coming from all these food stalls, it's hard to pinpoint. You know that it's probably somewhere near or adjacent to the fountain, but you're not able to pinpoint it exactly.
Okay. I'm gonna move in the best direction I can.
Okay.
And try smelling again.
Okay. The DC will be a little bit higher this time, but go ahead and give me one more perception check, please.
Oh my god.
I'm afraid, yeah, it's same story. You're looking around, and this time around, the misty smell adjacent to this fountain is even more masking of your senses as you all around. But the air coming from the fountain mixed with the oils of an adjacent sandwich cart is almost deafening to your nose.
Okay. With that, I will move again. I'm not confident in this move, but I'm trying to get more away from the fountain because the mist and stuff is too confusing.
Okay. All right. While you're doing that, Trash, what are you doing in this moment?
I'm just trying to recall maybe any previous conversation I had with Catherine. Would I kind of have a better idea or a lead of who I should be speaking with to gather more information?
Go ahead and give me a general intelligence check. So go ahead and roll a d20 and add your intelligence modifier.
All right. So is there a way to replicate it so that it pops up on roll 20? So for example, I just rolled an 11.
Okay. So what you can just go ahead and you would click your up at the top of your character sheet. You would roll intelligence. Up the top, there's an option to just roll intelligence, and it'll add your modifier. In this case, just I would just type it in chat. Just write intelligence check, and then your total. I would assume it's 15 would be your total on that one.
I think it was general intelligence +3, so...
+3, okay. So 14.
14.
Okay. Not a bad roll. Yeah. So with a 14, you recall in your conversations with Catherine that there is a sect of the Magisterium Arcanum here. In fact, based on the bits and pieces of information that you've seen, as well as some of the various arcane things you've seen around this city, especially this time of year with this festival going on, you see near the fountains a number of individuals beginning to prepare various arcane tools that... you're not certain of what their overall function are, but you know that they are magical in nature, and they're being prepared in and around the fountain.
Okay.
And that these individuals may have more information that you're seeking.
Okay, I'll try to perhaps maybe walk a little bit closer towards that area, kind of still observing, just to see if I can gauge their level of friendliness before I approach to try to even have a discussion. So, but I will get a little bit closer.
Okay. The individuals in question are whoops, that's not one. These two individuals on the corner of the fountain here that you see. One in particular is mixing their craft using a what looks like a rather extended lute with a long neck, and you feel the arcane energies coming off of this instrument as they play it, while the other individual begins to draw various sigils on that corner of the fountain. As they seem to be casting some sort of ritual in this particular location.
Am I able to deduce the nature of what they're trying to do?
Yeah, you can give me an Arcana check.
Okay, that was a 20.
A natural 20?
Yeah.
Let's go! First natural 20 of the campaign.
Oh my god.
Nice.
You immediately recognize this as a ritual of major illusion of the illusionary school. Based on your many conversations with Catherine, you've seen this particular basis of arcane sigil drawn multiple times in her various books and documents that she's shared with you.
Major illusion, though.
Major illusion, yes.
Okay. I am definitely curious, so I think I would be trying to... I don't know. I think I would be trying to get closer to them and perhaps strike up a conversation, playing the innocent, like, ooh, what you working on? Like, that looks like a really cool art piece. That kind of approach that I don't know what they're doing, but I want to try to suss out what they're doing.
Okay. So where in particular are you approaching from?
I'll say because I probably had to walk, like, not through the barrels, or maybe I don't know, maybe I did kind of slide my way through the barrels and I was observing here.
As a plasmoid, you can squeeze through areas, or without squeezing, I should say. You can move through areas as thin as an inch.
And
So,
I think I'll...
yeah, for a being of your structure, I would say you could easily just slip right through those barrels. No rolls required.
Ooze through, and I'll kind of pretend I'm, looking at the market here, and then I'll kind of maybe around from here, this distance. I'm not overly close, but enough that I can have a passing conversation. Just kind of say, "Wow, that looks like a really intricate art piece. Like, what are you working on?"
Are you talking to the one playing the instrument, or the
one drawing the sigils?
The one drawing the sigils. Okay. She's a young human woman, probably in her mid to late 20s. And you see, she's wearing a shawl. The pin itself on the shawl, as she turns to look at you, has the compass emblem that you're very familiar with. That many members of the Magisterium Arcanum either have some sort of indicator on their clothing, jewelry, and/or sometimes body tattoos of this same emblem in some fashion. It is a compass, a simple compass-looking emblem, and it is the symbol of the goddess of magic herself. And it's also the established symbol of the Magisterium Arcanum, or the Magistrate. As she turns and looks at you, kind of pulling away her sweaty hair, having had to lean and draw this sigil, she kind of goes wide-eyed for a sec, a bit shocked to see both a rattling-like creature as well as one that's translucent and transparent as yourself.
Yes, we're putting up a combination of illusionary magic for tonight's celebrations. Can I help you?
No, that's so cool. Okay, bye.
You can definitely see on her face she was a little nervous talking to you, and it was also the other individual playing the lute-like instrument with the long extended neck, that as he finishes up his casting of the ritual spell alongside this other mage, turns and looks at you now. Hi, don't be rude. She asked you a question. She looks curious. I'll help you.
Oh, I've never been to this town before, and I saw everybody celebrating, and I just wanted to know kind of what everybody was doing. It seems really fun.
Oh, right. Well, welcome to Tierhelm. We're setting up for tonight's festivities. The Ailing Carnival, if you will. It's quite a sight. You cannot miss it for the world. If you're ever in this part of this part of the continent, you gotta see it. It stretches from this end of the city all the way to the bluffs on the far end in Tierberg Palace. This huge spectacle across the night sky.
Wow, that sounds incredible.
Definitely something you don't want to miss. As this is going on, a number of individuals enter the square. The first of which comes running in, a small, young, half-elf girl, about the same height as Sylvia. Looking about, her eyes are wide, and she has this huge smile on her face as she is running around from stall to stall, looking at all the different vendors and foods and things of that nature, and wearing a very fine very fine silk clothing, silk skirt, with all these floral patterns on the skirt, with this beautiful silk-like blonde hair as she darts from stall to stall, followed quickly, but a bit clumsily by 3 individuals. The first of which is a halfling man with dirty brown blondish hair, wearing a kind of a garnet colored overcoat, chasing after the young lady. Hey, miss, you gotta, Mrs. Barone, you gotta stay with us. And beside him, you see a bald man with tattoos all over his body. A very, very rugged, and I shouldn't even say rugged, a very unsightly looking man. You see a big scar over one of his eyes. And definitely an individual that's seen the ass end of an ass kicking a few times in his life. And on the other side, a twig-like man who's very tall, but probably could easily pass as a slender tree in the right environment. With stringy red hair, with a number of janky-looking knives and other pointed objects all around his waistcoat, kind of following behind the halfling individual. But the young lady pays none of them any type of heed. She continues to dart from stall to stall, looking around, even running behind you, Trash, at one point, giving you a curious look, but is immediately has the attention span of a goldfish and darts to the next stall. As the 3 individuals step in, trying to keep track of this young girl, this young half-elf girl. In that process, the halfling man spots you, Dazes, and Domus. And immediately his attention zeroes in on Domus as he points over to the large half-orc man, followed behind by his 2 unsightly compatriots, and comes in directly behind the 2 of you to strike up a conversation. Hey, what are you doing in this side of town, Domus? Especially considering you got a healthy debt to pay, don't yous? And you see the large half-orc man, who easily is probably 2.5 times the height of this halfling, turn and look at him. And it's a combination of both just a tinge of regret, a tiny bit of fear, and more so just a large annoyance as he looks at this halfling man.
Damien, I told you I'd get you your money when I finish the contract to the city.
Is that so? You know, your little contract to us was up about, I don't know, 2 months ago? Where's our money?
And at this time, he also turns and looks at you, Dazes.
Perhaps your friend here will pay for yous.
I don't know about that.
Seems you both run along the same thread. Borrowing money, but never making any back for us who struggle in this city. Who work hard in this city to make every bit of coin we can.
Domus kind of rolls his eyes.
I'd hardly say working for the Gilded Bull is a career.
Hey! We're only one of the finest commerce establishments in this city, Thomas. Don't you ever forget that. Now, back to the matter at hand. When you gonna pay up?
See, kind of, I mean, you can see this little halfling is trying his best to intimidate this large orcish man. With not much success, but you see his compatriots kind of begin to encircle the two of you. I'm waiting. Like I said, maybe your friend here can front you a little money. As he kind of turns to you and his hand kind of rubs gingerly against a dagger on his hip.
Let's not have any trouble. We wouldn't want to ruin the vibe of the festivities.
Go ahead and give me either a persuasion or intimidation. Whichever you prefer.
They're about the same. Let's get...
8. Sorry, friend. But you can see this is a healthy time to spend some coin, but which we're having a hard time doing since your friend here hasn't paid us in nearly 2 months. So we won't be leaving here until we get something guaranteed. Whether that comes from you or from him is totally up to you twos. You see, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. Go ahead.
You see kind of... You see kind of the twiggy man beside you. He kind of leans up and puts his shoulder or his elbow on your shoulder. Kind of, he doesn't say anything, but it gives kind of this unsightly kind of chuckle as he looks you in the eye.
Can I get a read on what Domus is looking right now? Or
Yeah, go ahead and you can give me an insight check. $16. You can tell he's more annoyed than anything else, but with a 16, you see that there is a tinge of fear, and not for himself, but he's looking past Damien, and he's looking past the scarred, balding man directly behind, looking at his young daughter, Sylvia, more so than anything else. He definitely, his attention seems to be more focused on her than his own safety.
yeah, that makes sense.
Like he can probably easily fend off at least 2 of these individuals, but he's more concerned that, you know, his daughter may come to harm later.
Yeah. But I don't think I have anything on me.
I think you would all start with 10 gold.
Okay.
It's just usually typical. So if you guys don't already have that in your inventory, you can put that in addition to your starting equipment, which we already discussed.
Alright. Oh, I will pull out. I really don't know how much he owes, but I guess I'll just pull out a gold for now.
You hand a gold to Damien. Well, at least somebody understands. It's a start.
But 1 gold out of 500 ain't a very good stat. While this is going on, Floof, what are you currently doing?
I'm frustrated. I hate all the music. Stupid town. I like the crickets at night in the forest more. I like the birds singing in the morning. The only little touch of home that I got was near the fountain where the water reminds me of the lakes and the rivers. So I venture back that way, still looking for this strange smell. And I'm standing right by the well. I see this interaction going on with these 5 individuals over here, and I'm just completely uninterested in any of that. It sounds like city folk problems. And while I'm standing here next to the fountain, I get another strong. It's stronger this time. I'm closer to the source of that terrible stench that I smelled earlier. So I think I will see if I roll perception to see if I could track it down again.
Yeah, go ahead and roll perception. This time, you can go ahead and roll with advantage. So you roll 2 d20s, and you take the higher of the 2.
Okay.
You can actually, on your character sheet, when you roll perception, if you right-click the number, it'll give you the option to roll with advantage.
Okay.
Yeah. It should do it automatically.
Let's fucking go.
25. Quite possibly the smell that you're getting, you turn at this distance. You look past the man with the extended neck instrument that you walked past. And while you're walking past, you also bump into this twiggy individual that's kind of on the opposite side of Dazes, who you kind of bump into him just with your size and stature. And he kind of turns and, hey, what was it? Never mind. He looks at you, and it easily is looking almost vertically up at you, and second guesses what he was about to say.
Okay. I look down at the little person. I could see my chest, like, first, because he's so small that it's just... I look down at him, and I'm like... I'm unbothered by this tiny man person. He's pathetic to me. I dart directly to the smell that I smelled before, and I see this little green ooze creature, and the first my instincts kick in, and I think I'm gonna cast, if I can, detect poison and disease to see if this thing is a threat to me.
Yeah, go ahead and you can you go ahead and there's an option in your under the spell. It says display in VTT. Can you go ahead and display that so I can read what your...
Let's see.
And it should display it in chat for everyone. Nice. Okay. Information sensitive persistence, poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet of you. You also identify the kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease in each case. Okay. Right. So you kind of utter the arcane words, the natural energies flowing from you innately at this point. And I'll ask Quirky, or I'll ask Trash, do you have any poisons on you, or you have any natural poisonous abilities on you?
I myself am not poisonous, but I do possess the ability to create I do create potential substances that would be harmful to organic life and matter, but I don't currently register as poisonous or harmful in that way.
Okay. With that knowledge, Floof, as you cast the spell, you can see kind of in your mind's eye any sources of poison or disease. You don't see anything on trash right now. You do see there are some stalls with various vials that could otherwise be considered poisonous as ingredients in their base state. You also notice on the individual that you bumped into on the opposite side of Dazes, he has some little vials on his belt that are registering as poisonous, but you don't sense any currently on the small creature in front of you.
Okay. Knowing that she's not a, poisonous or disease-ridden threat to me, I interact with her, or it, and the first thing I say is, "You are the most foul-smelling thing I have ever smelled in my life. What are you?" I say it in a very gnarly. You can tell that I don't speak or interact much. Just very abrasively, just ask her what's going on.
Did I respond?
Go ahead. This guy's on you. I'm just sitting back watching at this point.
Never. That is the most rude and inappropriate way to talk to someone without even knowing anything about them.
What is your name? Tell me.
Wow. I can tell you're not from around here is all I have to say about that.
I asked your name. What is it?
What does it matter to you?
You intrigue me.
Well, I mean, my name is Trash.
Like garbage? Like the...
Yeah. Refuse, garbage, poubelle. I have many names in many different cities, but they all mean the same thing. Trash.
I look over at a pile of trash, and I kind of, with my animal nose, I smell it. It's also very foul. I look back at her and that's an appropriate name for you.
Yeah, well, what's your name?
My name is Floof.
Floof. Sure, Floof.
Why are there so many people here? Do you know?
It's a city, and there's a celebration.
What's a celebration?
You know, something happy in your life. My gosh, you want to celebrate it with your friends and family. You never do that? Birthdays, or I guess, and then looking at his appearance, I'm like, the moon is full or something. I don't know. Wouldn't you celebrate that?
I would. My family's dead. I know nothing of those feelings anymore.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Thank you. No one's said that to me before.
Well, I am sorry. I personally have never experienced being in a family or having people around me, so in a way, I kind of know what you're going through, so...
Okay. With no people skills, I'm super curious what about her, whatever she's made of. I without asking, I put out my little finger and touch her exposed arm.
I'm
see
gonna
what it feels
dodge.
like.
Okay. Go ahead. We'll go ahead and do a contested roll here. So, Floof, I would like you to make an unarmed strike. So under your under actions, you should have one that says unarmed strike.
Yep. Do I hit the hit slash DC one?
Yeah, the one that says DC. That's your accuracy, like whether or not you hit. Okay. Okay, so you rolled a 14. What is your armor class, Crash?
My armor class is 14.
14. So in D&D 5e, if it meets it, it beats it. So
Yep.
you go to dodge, and Floof almost presses his big finger, which his index finger, which on the size of this individual is like this. Is more than twice as big as like a typical humanoid finger, and you feel it press against your arm, and kind of push in maybe like half an inch. There's no damage, but you know he does manage to make contact with you.
What are you made of?
Like, that is not okay. I don't know how to explain to you that everything you're doing right now is making me very uncomfortable, and I'm just gonna need a minute. and I think I'm just going to scurry off a little bit. It just to create a little distance. I need to retreat a little.
All right, I love it.
And I think I will choose to ooze through that passage again, so I don't think he can follow, basically.
Okay. While this is going on, we'll kind of jump back over here while this interaction was going on. Damien kind of looks over. He's kind of fingering the gold coin over his knuckles, toyingly, as he looks back and forth between you, Dazes, and Domus. All right. I'll tell you what. It seems like neither one of you has all that much on you. But we're generous individuals. We'll give you an opportunity here. Lay down all your supplies and everything you got. And Domus, I'll give you another week to pay up. At this point, he kind of slips up the dagger on his hip about an inch, so you see this not great looking blade, but this kind of tipped angular dagger, as he flips the coin back and forth across his knuckles.
Okay. Can I like read Domus's face again?
Yeah, go ahead and at this point, with your check previously, you can see he's the annoyance is kind of is all but subsided. It's swiftly turning to anger, and just before you can see his right arm beginning to tense up as if he's going to swing at this little halfling individual. The bald guy on the north side of both of you, or I guess the west side of both of you, kind of looks at the whole group and goes, hey, boss? Where's the little missus at? You see Damien kind of turn and look at him. What do you mean? She was right at... Shit. Wait. Where'd she go? Where'd she go? We gotta find her. We gotta find her right now. Otherwise, our asses are grass. And he turns and looks at his two compatriots. And they immediately begin to rush away.
Can I make a sleight of hand check?
Okay, what exactly are you trying to do?
Damon is losing. Right as Damon tries to leave, can I try to... Unless he... Yeah, can I try to get my gold coin back?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go ahead and roll me sleight of hand.
That's not
11?
great.
Damien looks back at you. Hey, you keep your fingers to yourself. I appreciate you trying, but that's my wealth today. And he runs away with the coin in hand.
Worth the shot.
You see them kind of looking back and forth in every direction. Clearly not finding this small half-elf girl.
While this is going on, would I have noticed, because like I'm hearing the conversation and it's like they're reporting like a missing persons, would I, like my ears kind of perk up, would I have noticed?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Ooh, that is a 9 plus perception. Just 9.
Yeah, I'm afraid you wouldn't have clocked. She's a small girl. It's hard to tell in such a large crowd. And with everything going on, plus your conversation with Floof, it was, unfortunately, you did not clock where these individuals were going. At that same time, while they're searching for the small half-elf girl, you see Domus kind of come to attention, and you could see Dazes, that anger beginning to flurry. He lost track of Sylvia as well, as he's kind of looking about, and you see that anger subside and immediately turn to paternal concern, intense paternal concern.
Sylvia! Sylvia, dear, where are you? Sylvia!
And you all look around beside him, Dazes, and you do not see any sign of Sylvia.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I don't know if there's at this point if there's a roll or something I can make to try to look for.
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll me. Go ahead and roll me a survival check to see if you can track any signs of what direction either Sylvia or the other young girl went. Oh shit! Yeah, okay.
Oh damn!
With a 22, it's a hell of a roll. It's hard to tell. I mean, this is a small girl, but you notice the faintest of perfume from that young half-elf girl. For most people, it would not have registered at all, but your keen combat senses and your senses, having worked on a ship and smelling the air, just before a storm hits, you have that kind of reasoning of your environment, and you pick up the scent. You had picked up that scent of that fine perfume as it had traveled in a direction out of the square. It would have been southeast, so that you would have smelled it going in that direction, exiting from the square.
Okay.
So in the area I'm pinging here,
Okay.
as they kind of passed, or at least you would have noticed the half-elf girl heading in that direction. And you did see with that check, that high of a check too, you notice that that there appears to be a number of crates here on this kind of ledge. And you notice that there are some broken boards on one of these other crates, as if somebody had stepped up them and maybe snapped one of these boards. And then also that 2 of these crates have kind of been pushed aside as some individuals had traveled in that same direction. And you believe, just because Sylvia is a half-orc, that, she may have, not knowing her own inherent strength, had pressed through one of these boards heading in that direction. As you recall, Domus had done similar things in his younger years aboard the boat, stepping on crates that probably couldn't support his large frame.
Okay, so I turn to Domus and I say, I point out the boards. I say, look, the boards and the boxes. And I say, I think Sylvia might have gone this way. And I point southeast.
Hey, you still have sharp eyes there, Dazes. We need to find her. She's gonna have a stern talking to when I do find her. I told her to stay within the square.
And he kind of motions for you to follow in that direction. While this is going on, Trash, Floof, are you doing anything else?
Oh,
No, go ahead.
I see. I saw where Trash went, and I'm still captivated by her sense and the little ounce of sympathy she showed me. She did say sorry about not having a family, so I'm still following her, and I follow her towards these barrels, which are like small to me.
You can easily see over them, and you see Trash behind them.
but can I plow through them?
Like
move them out of my way while I'm walking?
Give me an athletics check to see if you can just push these barrels aside.
Oh no.
You managed to do it. You are a large, enough creature, but you do it very clumsily, and at one point you fall on top of one of the barrels, kind of inciting the ire of one of these shopkeepers. Hi. That's my
Shut
items.
Shut up, you.
Roll me an intimidation check.
My rolls suck.
Shut up! No, you crushed my goods! What are you gonna do about it?
Does he do any physical movement or action toward?
To what? I'm sorry?
Does he do any physical motions, quick movements, anything towards me while he's talking back?
Well, she.
Or she, yeah.
You can see she's about to grab a large rolling pin. And come at you.
Not about to do that shit.
She's a rather rotund woman. She gives off that old Italian mother vibe of you're about to get the the chancleta to your head.
Okay. I know this.
You can see her small child who's sitting there eating breakfast, looking onwardly with a smile on his face, oh, you fucked up. Mama's gonna whoop your ass. That kind of vibe, like a small sibling.
Okay, so I'm once again uninterested in anyone but Trash right now. And forgive me for doing this, but I am just trying to practice a little bit. But I'm gonna cast Snare, just because I don't even want her to even be able to come near me or talk to me while I'm talking to Trash.
Okay, go ahead and put that in the chat for me, please. Okay, first. Okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and I'll roll for them, but yeah, they They don't succeed. Um,
All right, I immediately
You
changed my attention. Oh, go ahead.
you see the vine-like. You see the fruit on the cart that was otherwise dormant until now begin to sprout vines and grab onto her legs. Boy, what the? You let me go! And you see she's just, struggling. This little boy who's sitting there eating breakfast is just watching, captivated by what's going on here.
All right, without even a tiny little hint of concern, I get in front of Trash, and I say, "You say sorry. I'm sorry for touching you. I don't know this place or these people or these things. I come here looking for who killed my mother. I don't know what to do, and maybe my eyes are watering a little bit, but I'm definitely not crying. I'm not crying, but a little something, a little emotion showing."
I love it. Trash, what would you say in response?
I was gonna say that I was trying to, because of all the commotion between the 5 kind of humanoid people that I observed earlier, and then the 3 kind of scattering in the square, and then I see the two of them move in a very purposeful direction. I was going to try to follow them, but then this whole incident happened.
Okay.
I was like, oh, gee, Louise. Okay, well, you're gonna have to learn to move a little bit lightlier on your feet, if possible. Could you just release this lady and come with me? I don't know. Well, come with me. I'll help you out if I can later, but I gotta go somewhere. Okay?
What lady? Oh, and
You can drop concentration on the spell.
Okay.
Okay, so you drop concentration on the spell, and the woman comes up and starts kind of hitting you on the shoulder with the rolling
like,
pin.
"Sorry."
But it's like hitting an oak tree with a twig. And you almost don't even register it because it doesn't even phase you.
All right. I do feel a little something like an itch, on your shin, like nothing nothing really, but enough for me to reach for it. So I actually do think that it's an itch, and I swing my big arm around towards my back to scratch it, not knowing that she's there, and I did this quickly too. I'm trying to get the itch fast, and I totally hit this girl, accidentally, but I fucking send her into these
The fruit cart.
barrels. Yeah.
Okay. You swing back unintentionally, and it doesn't knock her off her feet, but it knocks her back into the fruit cart. And at this point, the little kid that's eating breakfast is just chuckling and laughing hysterically. And you see that at this point, her motherly attention comes off of you and looks right at the child, and she begins to utter in some language that neither of you speak, and just immediately pulls off her slipper and starts just going to town on this child's rump.
Oh boy.
in full maternal mode.
I'm just gonna say, okay, quickly while we have a chance, and I kind of because I could see that he's a big, strong, kind of beefy person, and so I just kind of, there's a very gentle poke, but a little poke with a dagger, like, let's go, let's move.
Okay. So I'm assuming at this point you're following towards Domus and Dazes.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I thought you were asking me. Yeah, go.
referring to Trash, are you following after Domus and Dazes at this point?
Yes, I
Okay.
am curious because it's now become a missing persons, and whether it's a missing persons case, but there is a missing person of interest involved. So it kind of piqued my interest. So
Okay.
begrudgingly, I am getting Floof involved because I can't seem
I'm just
to,
following
I
you.
can't I
You
can't
don't
seem
have a
to
choice.
I can't seem to shake this person. So I'm like, okay, well, if you're gonna come along, then just come along. Let's go.
Oh, God. Okay, I love it. I love it. In fact, I love it so much that I'm going to give Trash and Floof, you can both have inspiration. So at the top of your character sheet, you'll see a little box that says inspiration. You can go ahead and click that. Basically, it gives you, anytime you roll a d20, between now and when you take a long rest, you can choose to re-roll it, basically giving yourself advantage. Because that was such a fantastic interaction. I'm dying right now. That was hilarious. But yeah, moving with that, as you all exit out of the carnival market, following behind Domus and Dazes as they attempt to track down the missing Sylvia, Domus's daughter, and you see the other three ruffians having no idea what's going on as you whip past all of them. They don't seem to have any clue what's going on here. We'll go ahead and roll into the next part of this, and we're going to do what's called a skill challenge. And I'm going to go ahead and say that in the totality of this skill challenge, this will take us into the evening hours of the carnival market. To complete, so there's a nice little artwork of the city streets, the various aqueducts between this segment of the city, giving you a nice little backdrop. But basically, what a skill challenge is, guys, is right now your total goal is to find these missing young ladies. And in order to succeed at this skill challenge, you need 3 total successes. I will tell you right now that the DC is 13. But a skill challenge allows you to choose how you would like to proceed in trying to track these individuals down. You can use spells, you can use your various ability checks, things of that nature, to try to track down these young ladies. And the more creative you are, the more likely you are to perhaps find them easier. So this kind of encourages you guys to look through your character sheets, think outside the box, and think about how you would like to go about this. So to start with, to kind of do this order, we're going to go ahead and roll for initiative. But we're not in combat, but I'm going to see who goes first in this little skill challenge. So if you guys would all go ahead and roll for initiative for me, please. Okay. Oh, boy.
I have been hit with 6. Sorry. So a 16 plus 2 equals 18 for myself.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start with Floof. You are wandering through the streets trying to keep look for this young girl. You noticed, you vaguely noticed Sylvia, the young half-orc girl, and you also smelled the perfume of the half-elf girl, the blonde-haired half-elf girl. What would you like to do to try to accomplish your goal?
Let's see. I'm looking at. So, quick question with my spells, because there's the 2 little check boxes are checked. Does that mean I'm out of spells for like this turn or something?
Let me double check. Yes, that usually means that you're out of spell slots. Because you did cast you cast detect
snare.
poison and disease, and you cast snare.
There.
as
Okay.
well. So I think you have 2 spell slots at level 1, but
Yeah, I do. So
It's
I
two,
have
yeah.
no
Right.
spells.
right. So you
Okay.
do still have your cantrips, and then you have your natural senses and other various things on your character sheet as well. So if you want to take a closer look at those and maybe decide on that.
Yeah, let's see. Well, primal savagery would just scare the girl away, most likely. Let's see. And I don't probably it's dusky, but not too dark to have a torch lit or anything. So I guess I hate to be boring, but I think I'm gonna smell. I'm gonna use my perception again, my
Okay.
animal instincts to. I caught her scent earlier, just because she was nearby at the fountain when I
Sure.
was looking for trash, and I am seeing if I could smell her.
Oh.
And I assume at this point, trash. You kind of told me that we're looking for that girl or something, so
Mhm.
so that I'm on the same page. And I'm like, and yeah, here's the roll.
Go ahead and roll perception for me. That is a success. Yeah, you catch again that whiff of that kind of high dollar perfume. You don't know it's high dollar, but you definitely catch it that it stands out in this area, even among all these other stimulants in the area. Your keen senses are able to track it pretty easily as it's heading towards the edge of the city. Further and further away, but you are able to kind of pinpoint in that direction. Next would be Trash. What would you like to do to contribute to this skill challenge? You are looking for the this. You may. I don't know if you would be aware of the half-orc girl, but you would definitely be aware of the half-elf, blonde-haired half-elf girl. Oh no, you would be aware of the other one because they were shouting in the square. So yeah, you'd be aware of both.
I think I will I'm trying to think. Would this be, and this, I guess you can let me know if this is something that is feasible as the DM. Would I be able to kind of tap into kind of like this weird ass kind of trash network and kind of see if they would have like discarded anything, because this halfling that I observed was very kind of bubbly, whirlwind. Like, would they have knocked anything down? Would they have thrown anything? Would they have, eaten candy or food and like thrown it around? Like, could I follow like a kind of like a trail of waste or
Sure.
discard and kind of suss out where they would have gone?
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a survival check to see if you can follow the path of the refuse or any type of discarded items following behind. And I'll go ahead and give you advantage as this is kind of your realm of expertise, if you will.
All right. So the first roll was a 7. The second one was a 14.
Okay. You would take the 14 and then add your modifiers.
Yeah, I don't. I had a 0
Okay.
for survival.
So you would have a 14. Well, there's another success.
So
Cool. That is a second success. As you look around, you notice that you see a number of wrappers as you're wandering around, being kind of spurred in the direction by Floof's initial catch of that perfume scent. And you notice that there is a small candy wrapper that and as you grab it and you're following through these streets, you notice that you pick it up as it seems a bit out of place even in this area, and you hand it up to Floof, who gives the nod that it's got that same perfume scent on it, so you can definitely tell you're in the right direction. Lastly, we come to Dazes, as you are looking for Sylvia specifically. And I would say you well, yeah, you would know about the other one as well. But you wouldn't know necessarily if they were together or anything like that. But you would know that there are 2 young girls that are missing from the market. But you're specifically looking for Sylvia, the young half-orc girl. What would you like to do to contribute to this?
So I think I want to see if I can try to get to some higher ground, like maybe
Okay.
the second story of a building or roof or something, and see if I can like scan the general area
Okay.
and see if I can see any trace of the 2 girls, or see if I can tell which way they might have gone.
Okay. I'm going to have you make 2 rolls for me. If you're successful on the first one, I'll give you advantage on the second one.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me an acrobatics check to see if you can, step your way up the side of one of these buildings to the rooftops.
Okay.
An 8. Unfortunately, you have a bit of trouble. You're not really used to this terrain. You are able to get up to the roof, but it takes you a bit longer at this point, as you almost slip, and as the sun begins to set on the edge of town. But at this point, go ahead and give me a perception check. Okay.
Rough rolls.
That is unfortunately a failure. You're not able to pinpoint what direction that they were headed. One more failure, and unfortunately you will all lose track of the trail you're looking for. But that means we are back at the top of the round with Floof. At this point, you have the scent, you have the trail, and you believe you're headed in the right direction, heading out of town. Is there anything else you would like to try to do, or do you want to just continue to see if you can keep track of that scent?
I once again, I had the smell. I think I noticed trash, pick up on the wrapper or whatever, and they're both in the same direction. So I do give her a little. I poke her again. I give her a little poke, and we make eye contact, and I point in the shared direction, and we go that way, a little bit, and I roll perception again to try and get the scent.
All right, go ahead and roll perception for me. All right, with a dirty 20, you are able to pinpoint and keep track of that floral scent. Heading in that direction, you even catch up with that high roll. You catch up and you notice that at this point you are mere paces away from Domus and Dazes, who seem to have lost track of trail. But you are all on the... Let me go ahead and pull the city map back up so you guys kind of have a context of where you're at. I'll pinpoint for you where you're at. At this point, you all started around S6. At this point, you are headed out one of the southern gates at G6 here, heading towards a wooded, forested area over one of the drainage ditches. You notice that you all are just outside the city gates at this point. But you seem to have kind of collected yourselves, if you will, just outside the city. As you all three of you and Domus, so the four of you all kind of notice each other, seem to be doing the same thing. At this point, Floof and Trash, you've still held onto the trail. What would you all like to do?
I ask Trash. I'm like, you try to find girl?
Yeah. I'm trying to find this girl. I was told that this city had a bunch of people that keep going missing, so I was told to come here and find out what's going on. So
I interrupt you.
Oh.
I grab your arm, and start walking towards the scent, and I completely ignore Dazes and is it
Domus.
Domus. And I'm beelining it to the woods. I say I know these woods, and grab her arm and proceed directly at a beeline towards the scent.
Aziz, with your passive perception, you clock this conversation intimately. You hear all of this.
Thank God.
Yeah, you hear all of this with your passive perception. Just high as shit. Yeah, you
Okay.
hear this conversation, and you're quite intimately aware that these two strange individuals seem to be doing something very similar to you and Domus.
Well, I let Domus know that for whatever reason, these two interesting-looking individuals are also looking for these little girls. So,
Right. It's the only guess we have right now. Let's go.
All right.
and I guess we'll maybe run to catch up to him as well.
Okay. Trash and Floof, you notice that Dazes and Domus are following you at this point, unless you guys are trying to hide it.
I
Or-
notice and do not care at all.
I was gonna say it's probably very tactless the way we're doing this, so no,
Okay.
it's probably not very stealthy.
Okay. Aziz, are you trying to be stealthy, or are you just following?
No, I'm trying to catch up.
Okay. So yeah, you all notice that you're kind of heading in the same direction, and you're headed towards this wooded area and these broken hillsides on the, I would say, the southeast edge of town. So at this point, by the time you kind of hit the tree lines where things start getting denser and denser, at this point it is almost completely dark. So I will go ahead and change over the map one more time for you guys. How are we doing on time right now, guys? Are we good? Does anybody need to take a breather, bathroom break, grab some more, or we probably got maybe. Go ahead.
I'm good.
Okay.
I was gonna say probably a soft stop around 11, if at the latest for me. But
Okay.
because tomorrow's Monday. But
Right.
Yeah. That's 11 Eastern for you, right, Bert?
yes. So
Okay.
So yeah,
40
about the same
minutes.
time.
Okay.
About the same time for me.
Cool. I think we're just getting into something here, so I want to head and bring you guys in. And let me go ahead and get your tokens here on the map. As you head up to this hill and jagged rock area, not too far deep into the wooded area, where as you're tracking this scent, Floof, it comes to this area where it begins to almost dissolve in a kind of a stagnant water smell as you hit this pair of cave entrances here and here on the map. And let me go ahead and drop your tokens in here so you guys have those. Let's see, you guys are all, whoop. Is that not? Okay, there's that one. That one. And just so you guys know, each one of these squares is 5 feet. They're all, most everything on a normal map will be 5 feet unless I tell you otherwise.
okay.
So you have free movement at this point. There's an entrance here, and then there's an entrance here, and you smell, Floof, that that scent begins to fade off at this entrance here.
Okay. I continue to drag by the arm trash to the entrance of the cave.
Okay.
And she in there.
At this point, who here has dark vision?
I do.
Okay. Dazes, do you have dark vision?
I think so. Let me make
Should
sure.
be under your senses. I think Floof, you do not.
I do not.
Okay, so you can barely see about, like, you lose sight of anything. It's just pitch black about 10 or 15 feet into this cave.
Okay. Would it be possible for me to grab a nearby, like, twig or branch or something, and use my
Okay.
druid craft to light a torch?
Yeah, absolutely. You snag a branch off of a nearby oak tree and snap it off with ease. And then as you pass your hand over and utter the naturally arcane words, you see the end of the branch just into a small but stable flame that gives you a bit more range. You'll have about a range out to, we'll say about, I think it's a torch's. Let me double check here. 40 feet in dim light. So you can see unhindered 20 feet out, and then it's anything past that would be done with disadvantage because it's dimmer light. So and then anything past 40 feet is black. But
Okay.
two of you that have dark vision can see out to 60 feet.
All right. So I've lit the torch. I brought trash to the place, and since I don't know anything, I'm good. I'm just waiting for trash to do something.
All right. I think at this point I will look at because it's very evident that there are people following us as well. So I guess I do look at Dazes and Domus, and I kind of say, why are you looking for them? What's your stake in this?
One of them's my daughter. I have to find her. She's my only family.
Okay, well, my companion here has a really, really keen sense of smell, and he thinks that she's in there. I don't know anything that's in there, but I say we best be prepared because this seems like a very odd place for a small child to go, don't you think?
Of course. Why would she come out here?
Let me go ahead and
Well-
drag Domus's token in here.
I made a tiny little maybe noticeable glance at Domus because he did mention his daughter, and with my, I care about family and stuff, but barely noticeable. I picked up on it though.
Okay. Yeah, and with your passive insight, you would notice that there is legitimate concern. He has a paternal concern for his daughter. Obviously, I mean it's without question that it's easily the most important thing in his life. So
Okay. And I did recognize that, but I still don't care who they are.
okay.
Well, shall we?
Okay, and I perk up my little nose and check to see if I can find the scent.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check with disadvantage, as the scent at this point is musked heavily by what smells like stagnant water. So you'll roll, yeah. That with disadvantage? Or did you write it?
It said -7, or yeah, I think so.
So normally with disadvantage, it's the same as advantage. You roll 2 d20s, but in this case, you take
Yeah.
the lower of the two.
Okay, because mine said 15, 11.
Okay.
So
So it would be the
11 plus 6.
11 plus 6. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. Okay. The 17, even though it's very difficult. That this stagnant water smell is hard to get around. You can tell that it's heavily scented with minerals coming off of the ceiling as this condensating water is kind of making it difficult. Like it's this heavy metal and mineral scent is very overpowering to keep track of, and that perfume is all but faded at this point.
Okay, I grab trash again and move it just a little more into the cave. Towards
I'm
the
gonna
side.
try to break out of this grapple and
No
just...
shot. No shot.
Y'all can roll. You can roll contested strength or athletics or acrobatics if you want.
Your call, Quirky. Or trash.
Let's
Don't
see.
be looking at my sheet either. I don't.
No, I'm not looking at your sheet. Because I have advantage of breaking out of grapples.
Oh, that's right.
Because I'm a blob. But yeah, I guess I'll try to
Okay, you can
kind
trash roll me an athletics check or an acrobatics with advantage, and Floof, you can roll me an athletics check, just a straight one.
oh, they're both pretty bad. It was like 3 and a 10. So even with the 10, it's gonna be 10 plus 2, which is
Okay.
12.
All right.
Okay, so you rolled acrobatics, Floof. You'd be rolling athletics,
Oh,
or is it the
okay.
same? Is it? Yeah, you're trying to hold on to somebody, so it's athletics.
Okay. Advantage.
Athletics 15. Even with your slippery form, Trash, he still manages to hold on to the last fiber of your stretchy being.
Okay, I'm just gonna say,
Can you let go? I'm gonna come with you, but we need to be a little bit more shifty and stealthy and shadowy. Got it?
Okay, I kind of look down and I'm like, on my face, it's like, yeah, okay, maybe I don't know, I'm not handling this right. So I do let her go, but I do still continue into the cave with holding my torch out, as
Okay.
close to the fence I think as possible.
Okay. Aziz, at this point, what are you doing? Domus at this point is like,
She's in there. I'm going in. Come hell or high water.
he follows in behind you.
Mm.
Go ahead and
yeah,
reveal.
probably, like right here. He dragged me in.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and reveal what you all see as you enter into the mouth of this cavernous space. Give me a sec. Thank God for polygonal reveal, because this area is super, like, organic is the best way to put it. At this point, this is what you all see as you cave. You see a large pool of a stagnant water that's about, I would say, about 5 or 6 feet deep at the center. So if you were to walk directly through it, it would be difficult terrain, meaning it would cost double movement to move through those squares. But there seems to be a path
The water
moving.
squares, you mean?
Yeah, I would say moving through the water squares would be difficult terrain, meaning it
Okay.
costs twice as much movement to move through them.
All right. So I visually see 2 paths. I don't think I could pinpoint with my smell because it's going away, but it's down
Yeah.
one of them. I completely once again ignore Domus and Dazes and ask Trash. Can you swim?
I mean,
Because I look at her watery body and she'll just dilute into the water.
yeah. Basically, I was just like, can I? I practically invented the sport.
Do you have a swim
Okay.
speed, or are you just a walking speed?
No, just saying that I become kind of ooze, so I'm very
Gotcha.
comfortable with kind of becoming liquid. But
Fair
yeah,
enough.
it's,
Fair enough.
Okay, so I see that so she could swim, so I don't have to commit to one path or the other with her. So I am lost because I could barely think for myself and wait for someone to do something, or yeah. So
Okay.
I'm waiting.
So you have two additional paths here. What would you all like to do? This location here seems to climb up a little bit, so you may have to climb a bit to get up and over these ledges. And you notice here that this water is beginning to trail down downwards on this location, and it may be a bit slippery to go down this path, but either is open.
Well, the water might be covering it up a little bit, but is there any way to see, like, if there's been any, like, recent movement through
yeah.
either of these paths?
Thinking like any muddy footprints or anything.
Sure, you can give me Dazes, you can give me a survival or an investigation check. And are you looking as well, Trash?
Yeah, I'll say I'm kind of trying to hug the little entrance, the wall, and as much as I can gather.
You
to
can each give me a survival or investigation check, or one of you can give me the check with advantage, with the other's help. It's your choice.
How
Shouldn't
you
roll so
feeling?
quick.
Oh, did you already? Okay, you already rolled. Well, in that case, so yeah, Trash, you can roll investigation or survival.
All right, I'll try investigating.
Okay.
That's a lot better. That was a 17 plus 3, so 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, with the dirty 20, you can tell that there were small muddy footprints going down in this location. And what looks like someone had slipped going down this chute of water, where it gets quite narrow. It's only about 3 foot wide in this location, but that's more than enough for a small girl or girls.
All right, I will point out to the group kind of what I see and say, I don't know what two, young kids are doing, but it looks like they took this way.
Okay. Without thinking, I initially gesture towards Trash to grab her arm again, and remember that she's not a big fan of that. So I do pull my hand back, and quick question with the my cantrip ability.
Right.
Like, there's not like the slots or whatever. Can I use that as many times as I want? Or
Yep. Yeah, cantrips you can cast infinitely is as long as you want.
all right. Are there any other pieces of wood or trash or not trash, but like trees?
We'll say that
Ow,
your
okay.
twig is continuing to burn. Or are you trying to make another torch?
I'm trying to make another one. So is there another thing around here?
Yeah, we'll say that you could easily just grab because you're not far from the entrance. You could just rush out real quick and grab another one, snap it off, and do the same thing.
Okay, so knowing that I can't see in there, and the scent's a little muddied, I grab the torch that I have in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I launch with all my strength it down that path to see if we can see what's going on down there.
Okay, down this location.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and give me a roll me a d20 and add your dexterity modifier, as this is kind of a ranged attack, if you will, and see if you can, how far you can accurately you can wing this through this narrow gap here.
Okay, so here's my d20 roll.
Or you can basically roll me a dex. Yeah, okay, so you just rolled a d20.
+2.
+2?
For dexterity, yeah.
You just barely. It's very difficult at this range to hit it, but you just barely, and it kind of clink, and you see the flame begin to teeter off, and then all of a sudden you hear this as the torch falls into additional water. But right as it passed through that gap, you are able to see a bit more into this area, and I'll go ahead and reveal that. You can see that with that additional insight, you see that this leads into what appears to be a more expansive portion of this cave system.
Okay.
But there
so
is.
I do.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I do grab another branch or something and light that. So I still have my own little device, and since I know that's the direction we're going based on them pointing out the muddy footsteps, I just kind of start heading that direction.
Okay. As you head up to that area, you head up to the mouth of this space here. It is extremely slippery. I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw to see if you can keep your balance without slipping down, similar to what appears to be the someone else had slipped through this gap in this muddy area.
Okay.
So under your saving throws box, it should be in your top left. Yeah, dexterity. Okay.
And can I just say, as he was walking through, like, I was kind of like trying to like hug the wall, as it were,
Okay.
observe. I saw the footsteps, and I am trying to stay close to him without going in the water. So I was probably like around here when this all was all happening.
Sure. So that is a failure, unfortunately. You, as you head through this gap, Floof, your heel slips in the mud, and you begin to fall down along this slide. It's not a direct fall, so you don't take any damage, but you do. Can I not? You do fall. Why can I? Oh, it's because I'm using the wrong tool. You do slip down into this murky, muddy pool of water where your torch had fallen and extinguished. And it is at this point your other torch goes out as well, so you are in like a pitch black pool of water.
Oh, jeez.
At this point, Trash, you can see as you kind of approach this location here, you can see Floof falling into this pool of water. It's not super deep. It's maybe like 5 foot deep, but it is pitch black in this area.
Okay.
While this is going on, Dazes, what are you doing?
Watching this big bear man
Idiot.
just jump into this water. I yelled down and asked, "Are you all right?"
I just make some noises,
Is
but I sound fine. Like I'm just making noises.
there like a safe way where I can kind of like cling to the rock wall and kind of climb down into that area without stepping into the watery kind of muddy surface?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an athletics check, or you can, I mean, at this point, you kind of seen it, and you've seen that it's slippery. I'll go ahead and say you can give me an athletics check with advantage.
And while she's doing that, I'm curious who asked me if I'm all right. I don't recognize that voice. What?
That would be Dazes, I believe.
Yeah, but I've never acknowledged his presence yet. So
Oh.
I'm just thinking. I'm like, what? Who is that?
I would assume you probably overheard conversations between him and Domus on the way here.
Yeah. Okay.
9?
So unfortunately, I rolled a 2 and then an 8. So taking the 8
Okay.
plus 1 is a 9.
Okay. It's difficult. it's difficult, even for you. But you, having seen that you are able to, it wasn't a high DC. You were able to climb down without slipping, and we'll say that you were able to get down to this little lip on the southern side here.
Awesome.
Dazes, are you going to try to follow?
Yes, but I'm just gonna trudge through the water a bit and just try to keep my balance.
I would say as a water genasi, you could easily just, and a monk, you are able to slip down with relatively ease into the water. You're very familiar moving through water, and as a former sailor, same thing. Not quite as gracefully, but Domus. Oh, he falls on his ass. I just rolled for him, and he rolled a nat one. So, yeah, he pulls a similar scene. In fact, he rolls down, and Floof, you feel a large, firm, muscular ass hit you in the back as Domus comes sliding down behind you.
Okay.
I loudly and audibly laugh as I help Domus up.
Ugh, too damn old for this shit.
Could I just...
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I think, could I have Trash like approach Floof and just say, is there anything on your body that I have permission to turn into a torch permanently?
On my body, I'm wearing cloth. You know, I got my spear, but I'm not willing to give that up. So I just very callously, which can be interpreted as mean, but I don't mean it that way. I just say no.
Okay, and I kind of maybe like dig into my satchel for just like it's like a, you know, like a scrap. I have like a bag just full of scrap that I kind of repurposed from trash and things like that, and it's literally just kind of like a piece of metal. Could I just like quickly give that piece of metal to him? It's not big, it's kind of like a, you know, but then I just spend an action of magical tinkering to it, and then it becomes a source of bright light.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna use your magical tinkering on his staff, or what are you casting it on?
I was just kind of thinking, because he said no, is there anything like, can I say that there was something in my bag, like on my satchel that...
Sure, yeah, I would say you could, you know, if you had a you know, some alchemical ingredient, a jar or something, just a vial.
Yeah, or maybe like just a glass jar that I had for whatever reason that's I haven't repurposed yet, but I'll just hand him a jar. I magically tinker it, so now it's like a kind of like a bright jar that like illuminates light.
Right. So you use your magical tinkering, and all of a sudden this little tiny jar of sand that you had been carrying, all of a sudden, and you have a small, almost like a little handheld nightlight that you can hold on to, or you can hand off to someone else.
I give it to Floof.
All right, I reach out for it, pull my hand back, and I ask, it hot?
No.
Okay, I grab it, and I do my best work to take with my little necklace that I'm wearing to kind of wrap it around my neck, so it's dangling off my neck like a little lantern.
Okay.
And I don't say thank you or anything.
All right. With that, the light cast and your own dark vision, just on the very edge of your periphery, you begin to see a trio of small figures at the edge of the various pools draining into this larger cavern. And you hear a bit of whimpering on one of the edges here. A small childish whimpering. I reveal this just on the edge of that periphery in this location with y'all's insane passive perceptions. Right in this particular area.
I just go home. I just want to go home.
And you hear another voice in kind of a consoling manner. A voice that none of you are familiar with.
No, wait. It's amazing. They showed me such wonderful things. You have to see it.
All right. Can you ping where it is again?
Right in this particular, it's echoey in this chamber. This cave-like system is vaulted, and it's echoing a bit. But you, with your passive perceptions, can ping where it's coming from, the source, pretty easily. And as you approach, you see. Sec. At that point, you begin to see the trio, small children, two of which, the ones you've been searching for, as they immediately begin to see the light come in. You notice that the one that you don't recognize, a small red-headed girl, clothed in raggedy clothing, definitely scrounged together, not unlike your own, Trash. Very dirtied, muddied child, definitely has not seen a bath in some time, but is eagerly pointing at this cliff face, this rock face formation here, as you all begin to approach.
No, you gotta see. They're so amazing.
As she's assuring the two other young girls who are beginning to shake a little bit and shiver. At this point, what would you all like to do?
I see this. I look at the girls. I've managed to gather, that we are looking for this person. I look over at Trash, who I'm following, who is in pursuit of those people, and I just kind of walk over to her and wait to see what she wants to do.
I will kind of gingerly approach the situation, so I actually go back this way and kind of still hug the rock face, and I am slowly approaching, but I'm still keeping a distance. I'm more of an observer, so
Okay.
I'm just kind of taking in like what's going on and trying to see, maybe try to take a look at what's on the rock face if I can.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check with disadvantage, please.
All right.
And while that happens, I'll just point out to Domus.
Ooh, disadvantage. That's a 3 plus my perception. It's 5.
5. It is hard to tell in here. It is extremely dark, and even with your dark vision, you don't see in color. Everything's in black and white until some sort of light source gets close enough. But even then, it just looks like rocks that the red-headed girl is pointing at. You were saying something, Dazes?
Yeah, just I'll point out to Domus that there's Sylvia over there.
You see Domus, his face light up, and he immediately begins to bolt towards this. Sylvia! Oh my god! You're all right!
Papa!
At this point, while this is going on, while you're watching this rock face crash, you begin to hear what sounds like cracking of rock against the face of this wall.
I do?
And yeah, you hear this because you're focusing directly on it at the time.
Okay.
And you hear this unsettling separation of rock in this location. And then a voice you all hear echoes from this point. Why did you bring others? Why? We were clear, child. As you see an unnatural face begin to appear in the rock. This face. Let me reveal more so you can see. Is it reveal, not conceal? This large, rock-like creature, this maw extending as it speaks with this unsightly red eye, and these rocky tendrils beginning to break free. What you thought originally were vines breaking off of this rock and beginning to writhe in that direction. No matter. My children will feast either way. And as you see this, several small creatures also begin to form. Not as large as this main creature, but you see several different smaller creatures reminiscent of it appear on the various rock faces around you. At this point, I would ask that you all roll initiative.
Absolutely. It's not good. Oh, jeez. I rolled a 5.
15. I got 15.
I got a 10. At least it's a double-digit number this time.
Hell yeah.
I'm all my good rolls have been used on these little interactions, so I'm not looking forward to what happens next. Does that mean I go first? Is that what that means?
We'll see. Let's see. Just so you all are aware, just above the table, Domus is, unless instructed to do so, will focus on trying to protect the children, as he is the closest in proximity when this all went down. Unless you ask him to do otherwise, he will simply take the obstruction or dodge action.
Okay.
Good. All right, and then lastly, all right. You all see as this large abomination breaks breaks away from the sheer face of this this rock outcropping that extends from floor to ceiling in this cave system. This hideous creature that had since been disguising itself against the rock face. But even from this distance, you can see there, as the maw opened up, there seems to be this dingy black bile coming and leaking out of this creature. It doesn't seem to be in good health, but it stares forward at the redheaded child.
We had an agreement. We would protect you, and you would bring us friends, one at a time. You have broken your promise, child. Now you will join them.
And you hear the redheaded girl scream as this monster attempts to lash out at her. In doing so, Domus is going to burn his reaction and try to jump in the way. Whoops. Fucking map. All right. Taking a bit of damage in the process as this stony tendril lashes out at him. Okay, he takes a little bit of... Go ahead.
Can I see this? Because I have my lantern only. I don't have dark vision. I could see this happening.
Just barely, you see this at the edge of your lantern's light.
Okay.
But the stony tendril comes down as Domus begins to try to shield the little girl, and he takes a lashing across his right shoulder from the creature.
All right.
And he is going to head and try to just shield the child as best he can with all of his movement. And then we come first and foremost up to Floof. What would you like to do? You see there's a small creature off to your right here. A number of these other smaller versions of this unsightly rock creature that had been hiding amongst the slate rock and dirt of the cave system.
Okay, and you said Dumas went to protect the girl?
Yeah, he kind of jumped in the way of the tendril that would have otherwise lashed out and grabbed at the small child.
Okay. I glance to the creature on my left. I recognize that it's closest, but I recall Dumas talking or mentioning earlier his daughter. I briefly think about my own loss of a parent in this case, but identify that the two are similar. I tap. I poke trash just as I always do with no grace at all, and gesture towards that creature, and then I immediately move towards the big monster in an attempt to help this person protect their child.
Okay, so you have, you naturally have 30 feet of movement, so you could get,
10,
yeah, each square is 5.
30. Okay, and then wait, hold on a second. I know I got primal savagery. I might be popping off here. Wait, what's that do?
Yeah, you would need to at least get to...
5 feet. Okay.
You would need to get to there or there in order to... So you started, I believe, here or here just behind trash? Refresh my memory. I believe you were right here.
Yeah, I was.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. You could get to right here. You'd be a little bit shy of where you needed to be to get into melee range of the creature.
Okay. My goal is still to, as quickly as possible, help this little family. So
Okay.
I run here after pointing out the enemy to Trash's left, and I guess that's it.
Okay. I'm trying to think what else. Just trying to help you here. Don't have any spells.
Yeah, I'm not a very forward thinker. I already wasted my 2 spells on.
It's all good, man. Hey, you're learning.
No, it's a little in character though too. It's just like
Fair enough. Yeah.
just doing stuff.
Yeah, I don't think you have anything that works on range, so you can use your action to dash, and that doubles your movement speed, so you could get into melee for the next round if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, sure.
So that would give you an additional 30 feet of movement.
Okay. And just so I know, where do I see dash? Just so I can see.
Where do you what? I'm sorry. Oh, so under your actions in combat, so just under where you see unarmed strike, it says actions in combat. It says attack, cast a spell, dash, disengage, dodge, grapple, help. All those different actions are things you can do with your action. So one of the things you can do with your action at any time is dash. And all except for a handful of classes, the dash is always an action. Certain classes can do it as a bonus action. So you always have your movement speed every round of combat. In your case would be 30 feet. You always have your action, which you can use to do all those various things. One of which is dashing, which doubles your movement speed for the round. So it would make it 60 total feet. And then you have your bonus action. So the bonus action is specifically if you had like a spell that you could cast that was a bonus action, or if you have a particular trait as a character that allows you to do something with your bonus action. I don't think you do in this particular instance.
Okay. Then I will choose the dash and get as close to
Okay.
the enemy / in between the enemy and Dumas and the daughter as possible.
Okay. Yeah, you could definitely get right there with ease while dashing. Is there anything else you would like to try to do for your turn, or are you wrapped up?
If I'm unable to attack with Primal Savagery, then I will wait until my next turn.
Okay. All right. With that, the juvenile creatures begin to approach. This one over here is going to come to the closest thing within range, so that would be you, Trash. The other ones are going to... They don't have a lot of movement speed. This one is going to try to come up towards the small girls. This one is going to come up underneath Sylvia, and this one is going to come up below the redheaded child. We'll go ahead and roll for yours, Trash. It rolls a natural one, so that does not hit. It comes out with a small stone tendril, but you immediately just, kind of amorphously move out of the way with ease. This one is not able to attack, but it is going to dash and try to get closer. This one is going to lash out towards Sylvia. Fortunately, also not hitting. They're not very coordinated, unfortunately, as this one swings out and you hear Sylvia scream as its tendril slaps against the ground, and you hear Domus, Sylvia! And at this point, the other smaller one is going to try to lash out at the little girl. Again, rolling like shit. Also slaps out and hits the water, unfortunately, and makes no contact as the girl kicks it away and breaks off one of its little stone teeth in the process. But it hisses in some unknown language, if it's even a language. It just hisses at the small girl. With that, Dazes, you're up next.
Okay, so my priority is going to be Probably Sylvia and the girl next to her.
Okay.
I want to see if I can. I guess it might be an acrobatics check, but see if I can get in between Sylvia and one or both of the monsters.
Okay. Yeah, I'll if you want to use it, because you have 5, 10. How much movement speed do you have?
I have 30.
30? Yeah, you could get there easily. Yeah, I'll go ahead and allow it. To say you kind of try to switch places with them. I'll say if you use your bonus action to do so, I'll allow it. So where in what space in particular are you trying to get to? You could get like right up to Sylvia if you wanted to that square.
Yeah. Right here or like next to her.
Well, they're small creatures, so I would say, yeah, you could share the space. You wouldn't need to burn your bonus action because you can share the space with them. So if you want to try to push yourself in front of Sylvia in the process, yeah, you could definitely do so. You would just occupy the same space.
Okay.
Just move her out of the way for the sake of being able to see the tokens. But yeah, you use your movement speed to get up to there. You still have your action and your bonus action.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and use my I use my quarterstaff.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think I can my bonus action to make an unobstructed as well.
Right. Go ahead and give me the quarterstaff attack to start with.
Okay.
Yeah, that definitely hits as you come down hard on this. Which one are you specifically going for?
The one south.
South? This guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the damage. All right. You're hitting with one hand, I'm assuming, because you want to use your bonus action?
Yeah.
Okay. You come down hard on this creature, nearly cracking straight through it as you break off teeth and tendrils break to the side. Also, Vale, thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Vale.
The creature is not looking good. It looks like it could crumble to rock at any moment. One. Yeah, it is very well and truly bloodied, as that similar black bile you see to the larger motherly version off to the left is spewing that same sort of awful bile as you crush down with your quarterstaff. It's still alive, but just barely.
Okay. I'm gonna try to finish it off with my fist.
Okay, go ahead and give me a unarmored strike. Yeah, you come down and you don't even need to roll the damage. You sweep back around after smacking it hard with your quarterstaff, hitting it squarely with the outside of your forearm, and you spray rocks across the adjacent wall as this creature is no more. You hear the mother across staring right at you. My child!
Let's go.
Made her angry.
Oh, all right. Is there anything else you would like to do?
No, not for now, because I have this other monster here, so I'm gonna stay put.
Okay.
Defend with in a reaction. Defend the two children.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, with that, Trash bringing up the end of the initiative lineup, what would you like to do? You have a small, angry, stone-like creature slapping out at you with rocky tendrils.
Yeah. It is way too close to me, and it's causing me to, like, as a reaction, like reactionary, not even think straight to use my tool. So like not even my crossbow or dagger. It's just like out of self-preservation. I think I'm gonna try to cast acid splash and just try to hurt it, and then kind of try to create some distance between me and the creature.
Okay, go ahead and show me the acid splash. Wait.
It says, It's like an action to cast it, and then they have to roll, I guess, a deck save.
Oh, it's a deck save. Okay. Yeah, let me go ahead and... what's the DC?
13.
It fails. They are not... Yeah, they are not quick-moving creatures. So go ahead and roll the damage for me.
Can you do that?
There should be a... Yeah, I think it's a fail, or... It's all or nothing on that spell.
Okay, cool. So it rolled a 6.
You rolled a 6?
Yeah.
You
Doesn't have any modifiers.
shower this thing with acid as you hear it and melt into a pool of nothing. As nothing is left but a bubbling pool of black bile.
Ooh.
Is there anything else you would like to do?
Can I kind of move towards the group, I guess?
Yeah, you, let me go ahead and take that token off the board, as you no longer are in melee with it. But yeah, you still have your movement speed.
I think I will move to, like 1, 2, 15, like 20, like at kind of at the edge, so I get my crossbow out and I got a good visual on the big guy.
Okay. You got it. All right. With that, we are back at the top of the round as the mother extends out her tendrils. My children will feed. And she is going to make an attack against you, Floof. Since you are the biggest target among the 3 in front of her.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I attempt to swiftly dodge the attack.
Do you have a feature that allows you to dodge with a reaction?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this is just an attack against your AC. So you have a natural amount of AC based on your dexterity, and then anything added due to armor. So I believe what is your AC?
15.
15. She rolls a 16. So she does beat your AC, so she's going to roll damage against you as a rocky tendril comes out and against your left shoulder. And you take 5 slashing damage as this rocky tendril comes down hard on your shoulder. And I also need you to make a strength saving throw, please. 6. You are grappled by this stony tendril. You can still act normally, but your movement until you break out is 0.
That's fine, because I'm just in range to go savage, primal savagery.
Okay.
Right, I'm right there.
Yep. Domus is going to attempt to pull away from the mother with the mother creature with the small red-headed child. In the process, he's going to take a couple attacks of opportunity here as he moves out of melee range with it. One of which is not going to hit. Mother missed completely as the stone tendril slaps the other way, and the juvenile is going to try to attack as well. That one does hit. And he's going to take a bit more slashing damage as this rocky tendril slaps against his calf. All right, and we're back to you, Floof. You have your action, your bonus action, and your movement. Well, your movement's 0 because you are... So you can use your action to try to break out of the grapple, or you can just stay where you're at and, try to waylay it. It's your choice.
Okay, I think my instincts still see this as a threat. I took the damage. It hurt. I could feel feel that. I didn't like that. But I can't run away. I want to. I'm mad, and I want to attack it back. I want it to feel the pain that I'm feeling now.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going primal savagery.
Okay. Let's see here. Primal savagery. Let's see. Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll an attack and add your modifier to it. So it's basically you roll a d20 and add 6 to whatever you roll, or you just roll for the hit DC in your character sheet.
Okay.
16. You just hit this large creature as its tendrils flail about, but you come in with acid-soaked claws straight over the top of the eye. Go ahead and roll for damage. Seven acid damage. All right. You sear down and you hear this awful hissing as more of that black bile pours from the eye socket in the mouth. This creature's not looking good. It wasn't at its best to start this whole ordeal, and it's definitely not looking great.
Okay. Does that attack count? Like, so here's where I need help.
Sure.
What else could I do? Could I attack it with my club now, or do I have to wait till like next turn?
Let me look at your club, I believe, requires an action to use. Yeah, because you cast a spell using a cantrip, so that eats up your action. Normally, if you were to attack unarmed, or you had a weapon that you had to, like an offhand weapon, you could attack with your bonus action, but unfortunately you do not.
Okay.
So like if you were holding 2 short swords or like 2 daggers, something like that, you would be able to attack with your offhand, or in the case of Dazes, he has his main attack and then he has an offhand strike as well because he's a monk.
Okay.
But
So going through the rest of my things, I don't think there's much else I can do. I don't have any reactions or anything.
Right. And your movement is 0 because you're currently grappled right now by the creature. Let's see.
All right, so I just stare at this creature, watch my acid do its job.
Right.
And I'm hoping it lets go of me, or I have another chance to attack you. And that's my turn.
Okay. All right. At that point, the juvenile creatures are going to lash out. Seeing you attack its mother, the small creature is going to approach you as well, and going to have at you. Not doing well. God, they suck. They can't roll at all. It lashes out and slaps the ground. Definitely not used to any type of combat, as it just wildly slings its tendrils at you. This one over here is going to reach out at Dazes. It does hit. I think, does a 19 hit you?
It does, yes.
Okay, it's going to go ahead and... You take 4 points of slashing damage as the stone tendril slaps against your rib cage. As you attempt to dodge out of the way, it comes across, and you take 4 points of slashing damage. All right. But it is your turn now.
I'm paying it back with full force.
Okay, go for it.
Same attacks I did last time. Quarter step first.
Okay. 17 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay.
With 10 bludgeoning damage, you come down with it. We'll say, for the sake of description, you come down with both hands and crush this thing solidly with a single blow, as stones splatter in every direction. Is there anything else you would like to do? You still have your movement and your bonus action.
Yeah. Can I use my bonus action after I move?
Yeah, you can use your bonus action. You can move like 5 foot to another creature, and you can move any number of different directions to attack. It doesn't matter what order you break things up in, as long as you're still, you use them whenever. So yeah, you could attack with your other bonus action at another creature as long as you had the movement to get to them.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and move. This is 15 feet this way here,
Okay.
and I will attack the small child.
Okay. Go ahead and roll another strike with your unarmed. A 9, unfortunately, just misses. As you swing out, one of the tendrils of the mother comes down and bats your arm away. You will not harm my children. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah, can I just motion to the children to I guess move in the direction away from the monsters? Just
Sure. You motion to Domus as well as the children to back away as soon as possible to keep them out of range of these creatures. Sylvia and the small half-elf girl step back, and you see Domus preparing to grab the red-headed girl as soon as he can. With that, Trash, you are up.
I can. Do I have a line of sight for maybe not the little one, but the mother?
Yeah, you definitely have the mother. The little one, I would definitely give at least half cover to, given its position behind two very large creatures.
Okay. I have my crossbow out, and I will try to hit the mother.
All right, show me the crossbow.
Okay, so that was a 10, and then it's +4, so
Okay.
14.
Fortunately, a 14 just misses.
Dang.
As it slings wide, you see the tendril come up, and it just ricochets off the stony carapace of this creature.
Well, there's not much else I can do. I don't think I have any bonus actions, anything like that. I guess, yeah, I'll just try to maybe just move maybe here, so I'm kind of in front of the children, and just try to, more bodies to protect against the creatures.
All right. As you approach, and you get close enough to Sylvia and the small half-elf girl, you hear a small whimpering voice, but a bit of a haughty voice directly behind you.
Smell.
And you see Sylvia kind of reach over and slap the other girl on the side.
Rude, but okay.
All right. With that, we are back at the top of the round as the mother mimic reaches out and is going to go ahead and they are going to, in the close proximity to the two, both Floof and Dazes, I need you both to make a dexterity saving throw as you hear this as this spray of bile comes at you both.
Oh no.
Dexterity. Okay.
Yep. All right.
That was fire.
Yeah, Dazes, you barely save. Floof, you fail with the 10. So you're going to take the full damage. Dazes, you're going to take half damage. So, Floof, you take 5 points of acid damage. And Dazes, I believe you're resistant to acid,
to
right?
acid.
Right.
Yeah.
So it would be half. So half of 5 would be 2 and halved again. So it'd just be 1.
Okay.
Because you are both sprayed with acid, but you, Dazes, you're able to dodge most of it, and you feel a bit of a burn from this nasty liquid coming out of the maw of this creature, but your body is well composed of resistant material to whatever this is.
So I think I took 5 last time and 5 this time.
Yes. So
I-
you're at
my-
0.
Okay.
Okay, so you are at 0 hit points. So when that happens, you are unconscious. So at this point, you fall prone and you are unconscious on the ground. You're not dead, you're just unconscious, but at the start of your next turn, you're going to start rolling death saves.
Okay.
Unless someone stabilizes you or uses a healing ability or provides you with some sort of means of regaining hit points.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's my turn.
right, and we would be, at this point, Domus sees you go down as you're sprayed with this acid. Oh, God, not again. As he reaches into his pouch, and you see him pull out this reddish, swirling vial and uncorks it and immediately just jams it down your gullet. Go ahead and roll. I believe it's 2d4 plus 1 in this case.
All right. That's 1.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, so you regain 7 hit points as you cough up some of this liquid, but you are alive. You are not rolling death saves at the start of your next
All right,
turn.
good.
You owe me one, Floof.
Or what am I? He doesn't know you. He just sees you go. I'm thinking of Dazes. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Retcon that RP a little bit.
He goes, ugh, not again.
It's like,
Dazes, you're gonna owe me one for this guy.
I take a big gasp of air, and I could taste something, and whatever you poured down my throat.
yeah, you feel the wounds and the burns begin to seal up on your skin, as well as the slashes from the tendrils.
Okay, I look a little, happy to not be dead. But
Right. So
I'm also.
it is your turn at that point, because you go behind Domus in the initiative order. I believe. No, you rolled a 15 on initiative, right? What?
Yes.
You rolled. Okay, so you were before Domus. Okay. So you wouldn't have been able to die anyway. We'll just ignore the death saves. But normally I would have had you rolling death saves. That was my mistake. But I just had this written wrong. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But basically, when you go to 0 hit points, just so you know in the future, and it's the start of your turn, you roll a d20. On a 9 or lower, that is a failure. On a 10 or above, that is a success. You have to roll 3 successes or roll a nat 20, and you pop up with 1 hit point. If you roll 3 failures, you are dead completely. And if you roll a nat 1, that is 2 automatic failures. So, just so you know, and everybody's aware.
Okay.
But yeah, in this case, we'll just ignore that. You wouldn't have been able to die outright in this case.
Okay.
Even if you had rolled a nat 1, you still would have had one more opportunity. Yeah, at this point, the juvenile creature is going to lash out. Having seen you behind them, Dazes is going to swing back towards you with its tendrils. Rolling like total dog crap again, and there's no way that's hitting. So I'm not even going to bother to add it up. As it swings out, you dodge out of the way with ease. And it is your turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna use, I guess, my acid splash
Okay.
Which it says can hit both of them as long as they're within 5 feet of each other.
Yes, it does. Yeah. What save do they need to roll? I think it's Dex, right?
Yeah, Dex 14.
It's an acid-heavy episode. Dex 14, you said. Lucky for you, they both fail because they have a negative modifier. So, yeah, go ahead and roll the damage for both of them. Let's see if the...
Can we do separate damage for each of them, or...?
No, they'll share the damage. Yeah. Okay. So the little one screeches out, and so does the mother, as they are soaked with the splash of acid. They are both still alive, but the little one's not looking too hot, and the mother's also not looking great.
I don't think there's anything else I can do. I can't use my bonus action like I did before.
No, because you cast a spell.
Yeah.
So, you still have your movement, but I would assume you're trying to stay within melee of these things.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay in melee of both of them.
Okay. With that, then, Trash, you are up.
All right. Do I have line of sight of either the little creature or the mother?
I would say the mother you're fully in line of sight of. It's a large creature. It's even next to Floof. This is a large creature. I would say that the little one you can see it, but I would give them half cover, given what's in front of them.
Okay, dokes. I will try to hit them again with the crossbow.
Okay, show me the crossbow.
I am rolling not so good. That is a 7 plus 4. That's an 11. I don't think that hits.
Are you you're attacking the little one or the mother?
This was a mother.
Yeah, unfortunately, the mother, you swing again, and the stony tendril comes up and bats the bolt away as it hisses at you.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else I can do at this point. So I guess, yeah, I think I just stay put.
Okay. With that, we are back again at the top of the round. Having just been splashed with acid, the mother is going to go ahead and try to reel at you with one of her tendrils, Dazes. God, man, I'm rolling like dog crap. They miss completely as the tendril swings up past you and smacks against the cave ceiling, but missing you entirely. With that, Domus is going to pull the small red-headed child away, taking an opportunity attack from the smaller creature, but not getting hit as he steps away and moves and drags the redhead out of the way this time around, kind of giving you now line of sight of everything, Crash. But with that, Floof, you are up. You are prone, so you would need to eat up half your movement to stand up, because you did fall. So if you want to stand up, you can.
I do stand up. I cough a little. I see some of the red stuff that was poured down my throat, and I look back. I see Dumas. Can I see that he has more of those on him?
Yeah, you can give me a quick perception check.
Okay.
The 25, you see that was the only one he had on him.
Okay. All right. I stand up. I see that overall my situation hasn't changed. I see Dumas is still back there protecting the girl. So, without much further thought, I continue to attack the large creature in front of me again with primal savagery.
All right. Go ahead and I think you roll an attack roll for that one. Should be a melee attack. The 19, you solidly strike this creature in the face in the same spot, reaching for that blood red eye in the center of its form. Go ahead and roll for damage. 10 at full damage. Ooh. As you slash down hard through, the eye is all but gone, laid to waste by your claws. This thing is teetering on the edge of death.
Okay. I see it waver a little bit. And I move. I have half, right? So 15 still.
Right. Just so you know, if you step out of melee range of a creature, they can use their reaction to attack you. It's what's called an opportunity attack. So because you're new, I'm letting you know about that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what was happening to Domus when he was stepping away from these creatures to shield the girl. They were able to use their reaction to attack. So when you're within 5 feet of a creature, an adversarial creature, they can use an opportunity attack. Same goes for you guys as well. So if a creature was moving away from you, out of your melee range, you would get an opportunity attack.
Okay. So I seem to think that this enemy's done, maybe foolishly, but I'm thinking about this liquid that was poured down my throat, and that it was not something natural. And as someone who very strongly dislikes anything unnatural, I do still move towards Dumas, knowing that he poured that down my throat.
Okay,
I'm
just
mad
so
at
you
him
know, if you
for-
do that, you're going to take attacks from both the creatures.
All right.
'Cause if you moved here, you would only take attack from the mother, because you're still within 5 feet of the smaller one. But if you moved there, you would take attacks from both of them.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I don't do that then. I just stay here.
Okay.
I'm gonna see this through. I want this thing dead, so I wait.
As you bolster your primal rage, having just carved a huge wound into this creature, you hold your ground. With that, Dazes, you are up. You have the mother that is all but dead. Its bile oozing out in all directions into the murky waters. And this small, childish, juvenile creature slapping about wildly in all directions, trying to do anything it possibly can, but also looking very wounded.
My unarmed strike and my regular attack don't have to be on the same enemy, do they?
Nope.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to one hand quarterstaff, I guess, the mother first.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an attack roll with the quarterstaff. 21. You hit this thing solidly, square in its form, right between the eye and the teeth. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Let's see if this works. Oh wait. Okay.
Yep.
Wait.
How do you want to do this?
If I didn't have another enemy next to me, I would be doing some 6 flips and stuff, but
Well, describe to me how you take out the mother mimic.
I'm okay. The quarterstaff, and I'm basically gonna aim for her eye.
Okay.
Just one eye, right?
Yeah, one blood red central eye.
And I'm gonna kind of stab into it.
Okay. You drive the end of the quarterstaff deeply into the eye socket as you see the bile pour out in all directions, and you hear this horrific screech of the creature as its earthy, rocky tendrils sink low into the waters. and its form becomes lifeless. You still have one small juvenile creature in front of you.
Since my hands are a bit busy right now, I'm gonna unarmed strike with my feet.
Okay. Go for it. Yeah, you hit with ease. At this point, I doubt even your minimum damage would crush this thing. So, describe to me how you finish off the smaller creature.
So I'm like holding my staff in the eye socket of the mother, and I guess I use that to like push off of the ground.
Okay.
And I use that force to like basically just to kick into the smaller creature.
I love
Like,
it. I love it. Yeah, I imagine you kind of use the staff like a springboard now pressed into the rocky form of the mother, coming down and using that additional force coming down and just crushing your foot into the smaller creature, turning it into a fine rocky paste. But with that, you all are out of initiative as the creatures are laid low in this cavernous cave system.
For what is probably the first actual time, I look at Dazes and give him a little approving nod, like he did something good. And now with that potion that was poured down my throat against my will, I walk over to Dumas and, out of anger for him pouring something unnatural into my body, I punch it.
Oh,
Okay. All right, I won't make you roll for it. He's like,
What the hell? It's just an herbal remedy.
I'm a rush over here.
You are about to die.
Natural things aren't that red. I say very...
Berries are red. Have you not had a strawberry before? Damn.
What's a strawberry?
Dazes, you run with strange company.
I don't know him.
Whatever. As long as the children are safe.
I turn toward Dazes and say, good kill, but I had that.
Sure you did.
I let out a little sigh and walk behind Trash, waiting to see what she wants to do next.
Could I talk to the little girl that's in kind of tattered clothing?
the redhead?
Yes, and just kind of say, so, what happened? Like, not in a rude way, just kind of trying to get her to open up and just share her story without pressing her for information.
You can see at this point this child is bawling in tears.
Mhm.
They were my friends. They were the only ones who ever cared about me. They fed me. They said they wanted more friends. But every time, the friends would just leave me. They never want to be around me.
I kind of know what that's like.
Give me, well, with your passive perception, you would see this. In the water, this murky water, it's a bit hard to see, but as you get closer, you see bits of bone fragment of humanoid creatures littered through this water. At this point, probably somewhere between a dozen and a dozen and a half various creatures that weren't completely devoured by this collection of horrendous monstrosities. And just your natural read on this child and the fact that they're just bawling and unconsolable at this point, having nearly been eaten by this mother creature of and having been betrayed once again. You're beginning to put two and two together that this small girl was being manipulated to gather food for this mimicking creature in this cave.
Right.
And beside you, you see the half-elf little blonde girl.
Daddy is gonna hear about this.
And you look at.
I'll make sure that you pay for this.
As she points at the redhead, and while hearing this, Sylvia kind of turns to her and, without skipping a beat, slaps her hard across the face, kind of shutting her up completely.
Yeah, I think the only thing I can say is that I'd be like, well, I'm not. People generally don't like to be near me too, and I travel a lot, so I might not always be here, but I'll be your friend.
Between the tears, you see the faintest of smiles from this little redheaded girl. And at that point, you see Domus kind of let out a, kind of an exhausted sigh.
Don't worry. I'll see that she's taken care of. She can stay with me for the time being. Sylvia, do you know this girl?
Yes, Papa. Her name is Linda. She's a friend of mine.
And when you hear that again, this word "friend" to the redheaded girl, she kind of runs over and gives Sylvia a big hug as she just continues to bawl into her chest. But you get the gist that this small girl doesn't have anyone to take care of her, so she was very easily manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, Domus kind of looks to you all.
I don't know if there's any more of those creatures in here. We should probably get out of here as quickly as possible. And you, little one,
And as he turns to the blonde-haired girl,
I know where you belong. We need to make a stop off at the Gilded Bull. You're his daughter, aren't you?
Yes, Daddy will not be pleased by this.
Yeah. You all coming? We should, like I said, get the hell out of here. I don't want to know what else is slinking around in this cave.
I look at Trash and see what she wants to do.
I will also step out with everyone, but kind of as we're all walking in the group, I kind of pull out a small stone and I kind of whisper into it.
okay. As you whisper into the sending stone, you have 25 words to send per message. What would you like to say to the other end, to the recipient, your contact?
Say, missing people were eaten by strange creature and its babies. One eye, many tendrils. Very creepy, dark cave, wet. 8 many bodies. Hope you're well.
Hope you're well.
Hope you're well.
I see the stone and I gasp. Excitedly confused, I say, "What is that?"
Right as you're asking, what's that? A voice comes over as the stone begins to glow softly. Soothing female voice that you heard now many times, Trash. Well, that was unexpected. Before you go, see if you can gather a small sample. I will be in contact shortly. We'll send contact in city. The stone goes dim and silent once more.
I will, discreetly go back and try to gather a small sample.
Okay. Yeah, with ease, you're able to gather up the remains of a bit of the acidic bile of the creature, as well as a bit of its flesh and the rocky carapace. You can add just a random item to your inventory. Call it mystery creature remains.
Mystery creature remains. And as for Floof's question, I'll say that is my pet rock. And then I just keep marching with the others.
Roll me a deception check. Floof, you can roll insight.
Okay.
Or it's a 20.
Dirty 20?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Floof, you have no idea. As far as you know, it's an animated talking rock.
Pet rock name?
Catherine.
Catherine. And I lose interest immediately.
I love it. All right. We're growing a little bit long here, so I'll go ahead and assume you all leave the cave. We will we'll end in your kind of heading back towards the city. Domus kind of leading you back on the way back, kind of escorting everyone along. Much more familiar with Tyrhelm than you all are. On the way back, let me go ahead and pull up the map so you guys will know where we start next time. But on your way back, you head back through the gate that you had left. Briefly stopped by the guards, wondering why you all are covered in God knows what. And Domus explains the situation, basically, and as you're kind of entering the gate, you all hear another familiar voice from the early morning. Little miss, you back? We found yous! And you see Damien and the his two cohorts kind of rushing towards the gate. Did you kidnap her? And you see at this point, the small child, I forget her name every time. Sorry. Looks at them and you will address me as Mistress Christina. And you hear this hoity-toity kind of tone from this small child. She can't be much older than Sylvia, maybe a year at most. But she has the attitude of like an 18-year-old, and not in a good way. Oh, I need to pull up the map so you guys can see. Add DM. There we go. But yeah, you are at this point it is like the middle of the night by the time you get back. Like probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. But you're just inside the gates here after Domus finishes explaining to the city guard what was going on. Which makes sense given what you all look like at this point. But Domus kind of urges you all,
Like, we brought her back. Tell your boss what happened here. To keep a better eye on his child.
and you can see at this point, Damien is far more scared of that statement than he is of any type of recourse against Domus, as he urges Christina, the little blonde half-elf girl, to accompany them back to wherever they were going. But
Can I try to slide at my gold coin again?
yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I love it.
Go for it. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see. With a 17, yeah, right as Damien is turning the other way, you reach in and along with an extra 3 gold as a bit of interest.
Let's go.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
At this point, Domus looks at you all.
We've got some extra cots. You should come and stay the night with us. You all are absolutely welcome.
And he escorts you all to a small, a very, very modest house, just along the outer edge of the southern wall. Not too far, maybe a half mile away from the gate that you just entered. It's very, very modest, and that's a nice way of putting it. It's a ramshackle shack, but it's outside. You see as you walk in, you see his, cobbled together blacksmithing tools, his anvil, his forge, which is almost as big as the property itself. And inside, he fires up the little hearth that they have, and orders Sylvia to go grab what little foodstuffs they have in the pantry, to provide you all with at least a somewhat of a home cooked meal for the evening. And we'll go ahead and leave things off there, as I assume you all are in need of a long rest.
Indeed.
And you all reach level 2.
Ooh.
So next time we will start, you all be at level 2. So anything that when you go to the changing thing, you select level 2 from your class, and it will automatically tell you what you need to change. Some of you will gain more spells, new abilities, things of that nature. You were successful in determining the matter at hand. Missing persons case.
Yay.
All right.
But I hope you guys enjoyed session 1.
Yeah,
did. That was fun.
That was so fun.
That was fun.
I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I'm glad y'all
Yeah, that was
enjoyed.
really- yeah, that was good.